Hello everyone, welcome. So I'm here to review the Real Housewives of Abuja reunion. I just watched it today. The host of this reunion is Aka, a Nollywood actor. The reunion opens with Aka going to meet OJ Proshella in her dressing room, and she welcomes him with this rap like, oh my god, I felt it. I was enjoying her rap. OJ Proshella is good. Honestly speaking, she's good. So I enjoyed her rap. She kept rapping. She even cracked this joke with Aka, because when Aka asked her, what is it that you can't do, then she said she can do everything. She can even walk on water, she can eat bullets, and she can shit ice cream. Like, okay, honestly, that was funny. I really enjoyed that. And so after OJ, Aka goes to see Samantha in her dressing room. He goes to see Tutupa in her dressing room. He sees Princess and he sees Arafa. They all look beautiful anyway. Everybody looked good, but Comfort was absent because she was according to Aka, she was in USA for business, right? So she was able to join them on a video call. That's how she was able to join in the reunion. So they all look good, like I said. Something I noticed about their host Aka, I noticed that he's very good at flattering. It was not he flatters very well anyway, because it's not that kind of flattering that is annoying, but was able to flatter them to like put everybody at ease. Whenever he notices a tension, he'll just flatter and then just diffuse the situation. So he was so good at that. I really liked it. Because when I the person who hosted for that of Real Housewives of Lagos was Uti, right? So when I saw the one hosting for Abuja was Aka, I was like, would this guy be able to do it? Because I don't think I've ever seen Aka as a host ever. This is my first time, but I know of Uti. Uti has been hosting a lot, so I know his experience. So I was wondering, would this guy be able to handle it? But funny enough, he was able to handle it so well. I enjoyed it. I liked the way he really hosted the show. It was really nice. So he asked the lady what they feel about the Real Housewives of Abuja. Everybody gave their opinion, but I liked that of OJ Poshella's best. I like her statements on the Real Housewives of Abuja. She called it a social experiment, and she's very, very right. There's no mistake in that. She called it a social experiment, and it was not for the faint of heart. The first thing he went to address was Samantha's birthday party, the bonding party, and then he talked about how Princess interrupted the prayer that was supposed to happen in that party because her mother had not been served food. So he asked Samantha how she felt about it. Samantha gave her own opinion. Well, Samantha said she didn't know that Princess's mother had not been served, and it's not like as if she really took it seriously like that. She just thought Princess was trying to be Princess. When they asked Princess for her own opinion about it, Princess was like, yes, why would they serve everybody and not serve her mother? And the party was even so boring. I wasn't expecting Princess to go there anyway. I wasn't expecting her to go there, but she said it. The party was so boring, and so that's why she was there, to make it fun. They also addressed the issue of the party being boring, and well, even Comfort said she was bored, and the fact that the food was not served on time was one of her issues. And they all laughed about it because Comfort never hid her love for food all through the season. So they just made light of it and laughed about it, right? They also talked about Arafa's pole dancing, and because Aka brought up a tweet. Someone has said in the tweet that pole dancing and stripping are the same thing, and Arafa is just trying to use English. Rather, she's just trying to use English to confuse everybody. So Arafa had to explain, like, stripping is like actually taking your clothes off to dance, whereas in her own case, pole dancing is actually dancing with your clothes on. And the pole dancing is she hosts classes. She does classes on pole dancing for married women. So for her, pole dancing is an exercise and everything. So she cleared the air. Aka even asked OJ if Arafa actually strips or not, and OJ confirms that Arafa does not strip. She just does only pole dancing. Next thing Aka brought up was if Arafa actually knew Princess before the show, because on the show it was established that Arafa and Princess had met once before, and Princess claimed to have known Arafa and seen her more than once. Arafa says no, it's just once, right? So Aka wanted them to clear the air on that. Like, do you know her more than once or not? Both Princess and Arafa actually explained that they were at this event, and Arafa actually invited Princess to come for one of her shows like that. And so that's where, for Arafa, that was the only time that they met. But Princess was not like, no, we've met other times, right? And that even this one time Arafa is talking about, she's still not telling the whole truth. They were just some kind of like, I won't call it confusion, I don't know. They weren't really revealing the whole story. Something I noticed while they were doing this reunion was that the other ladies were seated except Tutu, and I was sort of like confused, right? Because Aka met everybody in the dressing room and every other person came out, so why was Tutu not there? But she later came out after they've done the show for like some minutes. She later came out to join them, and I was wondering, but it wasn't even addressed in the union, because I was expecting Aka to like ask like, why didn't you come out when others were coming out, stuff like that, but it wasn't addressed. And let me say, at this point, watching the reunion, I noticed that the reunion was heavily edited. I could actually see it, because I'm also into editing myself, so I can detect when videos are edited. It was heavily edited, like a lot of things were being cut out just at this early stage. I was even able to tell, because sometimes you just see Aka has finished, maybe Aka just finished making a statement, all the women laugh, and in a split second you see all of them frowning their faces again. So I could already tell that there was an editing there. It was already edited, because they must have said something that provoked them to now just start squeezing their face unprovoked. Do you get what I said? And then there was even a particular, I would have actually attached the video. I would have actually attached the video of the reunion to this video I'm making, right? But because of copyright claims, I don't want to do that. But there was a part like that I watched, and one of the housewives was actually making a statement, and she hadn't really finished what she was saying, and it skipped. So that was when I was very, very sure that it was edited, and I kind of did not like that. I didn't like that, because honestly, I was enjoying the reunion. It was so interesting. This reunion was the best part of the Real Housewives of Abuja. You guys know my review, the previous review I made on the Real Housewives of Abuja from episode 1 to 12. I complained, I didn't like it, I was annoyed when I was watching it, I couldn't stand it. But like this reunion like picked up, it was quite interesting. I could see that this one was not acting, it was not fake, and it was not scripted. I could see like they were actually doing this reunion based on raw emotion, and so I was enjoying it, and so it kind of hurt me that it was heavily edited. Aka talks about is the fact that Tutu Pai had met Arafa. That's during the season. Tutu Pai had met Arafa and told Arafa to please hook her up or connect her with a man for a serious relationship, right? And Arafa then ends up telling this information to Comfort and Princess. You understand? So according to Tutu Pai, she said the only thing she told Arafa was, please, can you help me to get a man? But she was now shocked about the things that she was hearing, that how could her request of please get me a man then turn out to be, oh, Tutu is deranged, oh, Tutu is this, Tutu is that, and she started hearing gossip about her. So she wasn't happy about it. And then Aka asked Arafa to explain why she involved Comfort and Princess in it. And Arafa explained that she involved them because Princess is Tutu Pai's very, very good friend, and Comfort is actually older and has more experience. She's the most experienced one of them, so that's why she invited the two of them concerning the issue of Tutu Pai wanting to find a man. Princess then says that whatever they discussed, they didn't discuss it out of hatred or out of planning to tarnish Tutu Pai's image. Princess explains her own part, like she actually explained to Comfort and Arafa that Tutupa is the kind of person that is into bad guys. So if Comfort is going to help Tutupa, she should know the kind of men that she's looking for. And then Comfort then explains herself, because the issue of Tutupa being a demon came up. So Comfort was explaining herself that it's not like she just wanted to insult Tutupa as a demon per se, but that no, when they were having the conversation, Princess actually mentioned something about Angel, and for Comfort's response, she had to use the opposite of the angel, which was devil. So it's not like she was saying Tutupa is a devil. It was just like play of words that came in. And Tutupa actually confirms this issue, and she said Tutupa says that the biggest issue that she knows that she had with Comfort was the use of words. That because Comfort, when speaking, uses strong words, and she's just wondering, and that's what gets her pissed off, or that's what got her pissed off with Comfort, because she will just be wondering, why will Comfort use this word for me? She admitted that was why she had the very, very big issue with Comfort. It was the use of words. Aka then talks about ageism in the show, and he talks about how the fact that Princess and Tutupai are the younger ones of the women, they are always using that to insult the other women as being old. They called Comfort's grandma, Princess called Comfort grandma at a certain point. They were old, they are old, and whatever, they should face their life is gone, stuff like that. They sort of like were using their old age to insult them. And even Princess actually mentioned during the season that they've done, most of the women have done some sort of surgery on themselves so that they can look younger. She was even accusing Arafa of taping her eyes or whatever. Princess can be crazy. When she's provoked, that's what I've come to notice. When she's provoked and she's angry, she says some kind of funny, crazy things, right? So like he talked about that, did ageism play a big role in the show? And well, yes, ageism did, although they were sort of explaining, like Princess was sort of explaining the genesis of what brought about that ageism. It was when she told them that she's still young and she's 30 years old and all her friends are older than her. She said she doesn't know why the other women picked an offense concerning what she said. She said she just said what she said, but she did not know why they were angry at her and all that. And then so they spoke about a video that they saw online about Princess getting fillers in her face, and I was like shocked, because they're not like, okay, you who has accused them of doing surgery and touching their face and their body, you have done the same. So is that not hypocrisy? And she says no, she's not ashamed that she has actually had fillers and whatnot, but like the other women are trying to pretend that their body is all natural and all that. So they were just trying to clear themselves. No, I've not done this. I've not touched my body. Aka also spoke about the pool party that Tutupai had at her staycation and inviting young friends to join the women there. And they also spoke about how Arafa met her godson. One of Arafa's godson was one of the young friends that Tutupai had invited. So Aka was asking Tutupai, do you understand how embarrassing it can be for someone like Arafa to come to your party and then meet her own godson there and stuff like that? And Tutupai was unapologetic, which I can understand. Tutupai says okay, she had a party and she wanted to call these friends, and she could call them because these friends are adults, they are above 18, they are legally allowed to drink, so why won't they come for the party? So she wasn't about to ask the women if they are going to be comfortable with her inviting her friends. So I will say at that point, I kind of like get both sides of the coin. Nobody is wrong and nobody is right. It can be somehow going for a party and then you are seeing people that are far younger than you there, and even people who that are younger than you, that recognize you, who look up to you. it can be embarrassing, I get it. But again, coming from the point of the hosts, that is who she wants to invite. She can invite them, right? So, well, they kind of sorted that one out too. I also noticed while watching this reunion, to my greater surprise, I noticed that OJ Postrella and Princess were going at each other at the slightest opportunity, at the slightest provocation. They were throwing words at each other, insulting each other. They weren't allowing themselves to talk, and I was like surprised because I didn't actually know. Like, that was one of the biggest shock for me, because I didn't notice any tension between Princess and OJ Postrella during the season. In fact, in the last episode 12, Princess had actually come up to OJ Postrella to apologize for something she did, and they had the chat and they spoke. So like seeing them backing at each other, insulting each other, I was like, what is going on? What happened? It was a shock for me. That was fresh material, fresh content. I was so surprised. Then also you also have Tutu Pie. There was a time she too was also insulting OJ Postrella, claiming that OJ Postrella's foundation is fake, and she goes to rent young boys from Wuse Market. Like, come on, this is a reunion. I don't know. I sort of was like expecting some of these things to die down, but she kept saying it. In fact, she was just saying some horrible things about OJ right there to her face. And OJ just kept saying, okay, you're a liar. Oh, they are just lying. Oh, they are just making noise. Oh, this person is uncultured. You don't have manners. You don't have. I'm like, OJ is calm. No wonder she calls herself Minister of Happiness, because, man, somebody cannot sit there and insult me like that too in my presence, and then I'll just keep saying, oh, it's because you don't have manners. Me, I would have gotten up to scatter that place. So like, it was too much. Like, and there was a time it was just Princess and Tutu Pie were actually just facing OJ and raining the insults on her and all that, and she just sat down. I was like, oh, it's because they are OJ Postrella is blessed with patience, honestly. Aka talked about the issue between Princess and Jaruma during the staycation, how they were backing at each other and shouting at each other, and all those kind of stuff. So Aka also read this tweet. He read this tweet where the tweet said Princess purposely behaved in that way so that she would be in the limelight, and she chased Jaruma out of the Real Housewives of Abuja. And then Princess had to explain herself, and yes, Jaruma actually came to the show. It was around this point that Jaruma came to the show and also explained herself, and Princess explained herself. And anyway, people perceive things differently. But honestly, the way I perceived, because even Princess mentioned the same thing. She said, okay, it's not like I wanted to claim the limelight and send Jaruma packing. But when Jaruma said people were trolling her online after she got married, and that was the reason her marriage got dissolved, and she faced Princess, I was like, if you know that kind of stuff. And Princess was like, me what? So Princess was explaining that she was just trying to clear herself, to say that she's not a troll and she had nothing to do with the dissolution of Jaruma's marriage. That was it. It was not like she wanted to be in the limelight, and I kind of get it. I believe her. I understand her, right? Because when you didn't do something and there's somebody saying you, if you keep quiet, it will look like it's true, right? So she had to clear her name. But well, they were able to sort it out, and I sort of know Princess and Jaruma had this opportunity to be able to clear the issues between them before coming for the reunion. I got a hint of that. So that was also addressed. Then the next thing Aka talked about was the night out when Samantha and Tutu Pie went out to a club off cameras. He actually wanted to find out what happened and all that. And oh my God, when Aka just brought up that issue, Oh my god, I will not call it a mess, but like the whole thing scattered is what I'll say, because Samantha and Tutupai were at each other. They were just backing words. I couldn't get, like, half of what they were saying I couldn't even understand, because they were just talking at the same time. This person was accusing this person. Tutupai was saying, yes, I had a toaster, and then I just had to turn, and only for me to turn I saw you were collecting his number. You are a married woman. Why are you looking for, why do you want to snatch my toaster from me, and stuff like that. And then Samantha was explaining, no, I didn't give him number. It was not his number. He was typing my phone. He was admiring my phone. And see, there was a point I didn't even get what the two of them were talking about. But they were just on and on about that issue. And Samantha kept claiming that she was not into that guy. The guy wasn't giving her number. She was not planning to contact the guy. Whereas Tutupai was claiming the same thing. Whereas Tutupai was claiming that she was actually trying to snatch the guy from her. Samantha, why won't you leave this one for me? You are married and I'm single. It was loud. I'll say it was loud. And Samantha wasn't going to take it lying low. Although she sat in her seat. Samantha sat down there. She was posh. It was Tutupai who got up and went close to Samantha and was just expressing herself and all that. But Samantha kept her cool, still sat down there elegantly, but she kept saying what she had to say. She didn't want whatever Tutupai was saying to just go like that, to just be accepted like that. And they kept talking and I couldn't get most of what they were saying until Tutupai left. Tutupai was saying she wants to go and take tea or something, because that day was her birthday. She wants to go and take tea. I didn't really get that. But Tutupai left where everybody was discussing. She went to another room, and Jaruma also followed Tutupai. And I guess Jaruma was trying to calm her down, to calm the situation down as well. But Samantha, who was still with the other ladies, and Aka, just kept telling her own side of the story. Like when Tutupai was making the accusation that she's sleeping with small boys and she wanted to collect that guy's number, people actually called her, Samantha, to tell her not to take Tutupai seriously. That Tutupai is not the kind of person that should be taken seriously, so Samantha should just ignore it and all that stuff. And Aka kept saying, oh please, will you wait for Tutupai to be here so that you can say all these things when she's here? We wouldn't like you to discuss this when she's not around. But like Samantha, it was almost like she couldn't even hear anything. She just kept saying her own side of the story. Wow, it was a mess, but I really admired the way she was elegant about it. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. Like, no, I'm not going to take that. Why would she say that about me? It was elegant. I like the way she handled it. So when Samantha was explaining her own part of the story, Aka brought up an issue that Princess had mentioned at some point to Samantha, that Samantha should be careful of Tutupai. And that is that true, and stuff like that. So Princess was trying to explain herself. Like, the being careful she meant was not because Tutupai is an evil person or something. What she meant was that Tutupai is a single lady and Samantha is married. And the number of times, because according to Princess, she said she noticed that Tutupai and Samantha were actually going out to places more often. That was like behind the cameras that we couldn't see. And so that's why she called Samantha to tell her that Samantha just has to be careful, like, dealing with a single friend. But Samantha was explaining it like, Tutupai is not the only single friend that I ever have, or that I have. I have other single friends and I've not had any issues with them. So why is hers like that? That's where episode 13 ended, like the first part of the reunion. That's where it ended. The next thing Aka talks about was the fact that the ladies were saying that OJ Postrella sells fake diamonds, and he asked her what he felt about it. And OJ was explaining why she cannot sell fake diamonds, because she was saying she's the one that produces the things that she sells, and she has this customer base. Even before she brings her goods, customers are already requesting for it. It's almost always sold out. So she doesn't, according to OJ, she feels the women are jealous of her. They are jealous of her success, was why they made such statements. And Aka then goes on to ask the different women, what they felt about it. And when he asked Tutupai was admitted that yes, she actually thought the diamond ring was is it that yes, the diamond ring, she actually thought the diamond ring was fake. It was after that episode that aired, Tutupai then confesses that she had a friend who called her. After watching the episode, the friend called her and told her that he also had a friend who bought something from Porshrella. He bought a Rolex watch from Porshrella, and the friend said the Rolex watch was actually original. So this friend had called Tutupai to explain that OJ actually sells original stuff. And so she said it was when the guy told her about that was when she believed that OJ Porshrella sells real diamond and real stuff. And that's the thing. I don't want to mumble my words here, but like now what I'm trying to say is that they just saw the diamond ring. They all saw the diamond ring and jumped to conclusion that okay, it's fake. And then at the end of the day, they now found out that it's real. But the thing is that they've already damaged OJ Porshrella's business reputation. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? For you to just come out and say, something is fake without any proof. Like I said in the previous video, when I was actually reviewing the season, I said it like, before you even make some statements, you have to have serious proof. Before you say, this person is broke, you have to have proof. Before you say, this thing is fake, you have to have proof. And I don't know, I don't want to shade anybody, and I don't want it to look like I'm insulting them, but it's sort of like shows that they are not really exposed to luxury. That is what we can get from what has happened here. The women are not exposed to luxury, because if they were, they wouldn't just jump to conclusion that it is fake. And like I said again, this time around, it was OJ Porshrella that I saw that was well comported. For a woman whose business had been slandered, she was well comported. She just sat down there on her seats and was just like, why would you say that about my product? If it was me, I'm telling you, I will get up and scatter that place. This is the second time I'm saying it, because to set up a business is hard. To run a business is hard. To fund a business is hard. I have my own experiences. I do business. I have my own experiences. And then for somebody to just sit down there, for somebody who is not even in the line of business that I'm doing, who does not have any idea of luxury items, to just sit down there and just come out and say it is fake on international TV. Because Real Housewives of Abuja is not going to be watched by only people in Nigeria, right? It's going to be watched by Nigerians around the world. It's going to be watched by even foreigners who really like the Real Housewives franchise, who will watch any Real Housewives show that come out, and then they will hear this. And also the previous customers that OJ Porshella has had are going to hear this. What do you think it will do? OJ was really calm. If it was me, I will file a lawsuit, because it is damage to reputation. And that kind of damage, once it is done, it is very difficult to correct. It is very difficult to get the customers that were patronizing her before, and it's almost like they want to destroy her means of livelihood. You see the way I'm just comporting myself, I'm pained on her behalf. So that's why I was so surprised that even with all of this, OJ Porshella could smile. Seriously, she could smile, and she just sat down there and kept saying, why will you say that about me? Why will you say that about me? If it was me, I will get up. And the crew members are coming to separate me and somebody in that place, because it is not funny. It is not funny. So Aka then asked Jaruma what he thinks about the situation, the women calling OJ Porshrella's diamond ring fake. And Jaruma says she was actually surprised that they will say such, because for Jaruma, she said A diamond ring being sold at $26,000 to some people is actually cheap, and she's right. I support Jeremiah 100% here. She's right. There are people in this country and there are people in this world that $26,000 is like 26 kobo. It doesn't mean anything to them. It is very, very cheap. And these are the kind of customers that OJ Postrella has. So for her to call the price for you $26,000, if you know you cannot afford it, then you keep quiet. You don't need to go and destroy the business name. You just keep quiet. Oh, okay, wow, that's good, and you continue with your life, right? So I'm so surprised that OJ was actually calm about all that. And they also went on. I remember those Aka also went on to mention the fact that Tutupai was actually saying that when OJ Postrella was a tenant of Arafa, she couldn't pay house rents, and then Arafa had to kick Postrella out and threw her things out of the house. And Arafa was like, where did you hear that? I didn't say that. Tutupa was like, but you told me. You are the one who was her landlord. If you did not say it, how will I know? Again, OJ Postrella was calm, still sitting down there, and she was explaining to us that it is true she rented the house from Arafa, but the house was not for her. It was for her siblings because they were actually going to school. You get? And also, like, when that year, the tenancy of that year finished, like something came up. I guess probably the number of months left for her siblings to finish school. You understand? It will not be up to 1 year. So that was what she explained to Arafa, and the Arafa should give her time to pay for the rent. But they were never kicked out, and their things were never thrown out. Like, what? This is damage. Damage, assassination of character. What do we call that now? I'm trying to look for the legal terminologies. Assassination of character, damage control, damaging her image. They're trying to damage her image at all costs, and it was so painful to watch. It was so painful. It shows bitterness. It shows hate. Exactly like Postrella said. I was disappointed. Like, women are not supposed to do this to each other. Women are not supposed to do this to each other. And even if you are pained, I believe these women are mature and they've seen life. Even if you are pained, I believe they should actually keep it to themselves. Get what I mean? There are sometimes I can get it. This kind of emotion sometimes it's difficult for you not to have them. When sometimes you see someone that you perceive is far, far better than you, it's difficult to say you will not be jealous. You are human. It is very, very difficult to say you will not be jealous. But the mature thing to do is to swallow whatever it is that you have to say. Swallow whatever it is that you have to feel. And just tell yourself, okay, I will soon be out of this place and I'll feel better again. So it was disappointing. And kudos to Postrella and Samantha for sitting down there elegantly and calmly and just talking and not being and not going physical. So yes, it's elegant. I really admire that about them. I really do. There were still some other things that Aka brought up and the women kind of addressed, but like I really enjoyed this reunion. And then Aka rounded it up with asking them what next in their life, what are their future plans and the rest, and everybody said what they had to say. And so that was how Aka closed the reunion. And he was like, okay, so that was fine, that's a wrap, we really had a wonderful time. He was like, to you Tutupai, happy birthday. And it was only Aka and Princess that clapped and celebrated Tutupai. Every other woman there kept quiet. I was like, are you serious? When he rounded up the show, that's the end of season 1. We have come to the end of season 1, and this is the end of the reunion of season 1. And what I was expecting the women would get up and like congratulate each other or greet each other, but they all sat down there without saying a word, without saying anything. Everybody just kept to themselves. They were like statues. They were literally like sitting statues. I've never seen that before. I have never ever seen that before in any reunion. What? In fact, that made me That what they did there made me to long for season 2. It made me to long for season 2, even though I complained that I didn't like season 1. But that behavior made me to long for season 2. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. But like, I really enjoyed this reunion. Honestly, it was great. This reunion was so great. It was an improvement to the whole season. And I just hope that for season 2, there's going to be more originality. I hope there'll be more originality and new content. That's what I want. That is just what I'm looking for. I hope there'll be new content. So this is my review of the Real Housewives of Abuja reunion. I hope you enjoyed it. So have a blessed day. Bye.